rea te rangi e tū nei, wai rea te papa e takoto nei, wai rea te taumata kōrero ngā mātua, kua mene ki te pō tihei, Mauri ora e tātou mā, nau mai hoki mai ki te punua pāho, the taumata kōrero, the quintessential space to disseminate a bit of esoteric knowledge. And you thought you were the sweet talker in the room. E tātou mā, it's me, I'm back again, Rāniere Harrison, the host of the taumata kōrero, but actually I'm in the recording studio, the Lion's Den, of one of Te Ao Māori's most prolific songwriters, the man himself, Mr. Troy Kingi, brother. Welcome, tēnā koe.
Man, thank you. That was cool.
What an intro.
Yeah, hard. And you got some big words there, my friend.
Bro, well, actually, since you say that, like, since we've started the Taumata Kōrero, bro, everyone's been, like, talking about the dissemination of esoteric knowledge. I don't even,
What is that? What is that?
Who knows what it is, but we're going to get into it. We're going to make it happen today. Bro, so give us a bit of a rundown, bro. What's your story? You know, obviously, Troy Kingi, where you from, bro?
Well, I was born in the 80s, Rotorua.
Yeah.
So born in Rotorua.
June the 1st. Happy birthday for the other day.
Yes, thank you, bro. Well, last month.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so born in Rotorua, and so I went to Kōrero Koanga before we went to Pukeroa, and I was there with Maisie as well. Maisie was there. And then we went on to Rotorua Primary before I went to Ngāpuhi Primary in Rotorua for a couple of years. Rotorua Intermediate for about a term before moving down to the coast, down to Te Kaha. And then I was there for a few years before going to boarding school at Te Aotearoa College. And then eventually ending up in Kirikiri and just never really leaving.
Took me through there, bro. How did you end up here? Because it wasn't until like last year, 2 years ago, everyone was like, no, Troy Kingi stays up north. And I was like, eh?
Yeah. Well, it was my dad, my stepfather. He was the sole cop down in Te Kaha. And then he got a job up here, got a transfer up here, Paihia. So I just moved up here when I was about 15, 16.
Sure,
and just never moved, never left. My mum and dad have moved now, they're down in Whangarei, but I'm here with my wife and kids now. And yeah.
I know a lot of the coasties, and I can see Taika Waititi. We'll get a shot of that, the big mural of Taika Waititi on your wall, the mayor of Te Whānau Wapunu, arguably enough. So McLeod might have something to say about that. Quick would you rather? Kiri o Te Kaha?
Oh, don't do this to me.
No, you don't have to answer.
No, don't do that to me.
That's putting you on the spot. Bro,
Is that it? Okay.
No, we'll get into it. We got 50 minutes, bro. We're going to have a wānanga, bro.
Okay.
One thing, when I hit you up, bro, I was talking on the phone to you, called you up, bro, I'm keen to do a podcast. I want to come up, we'll set up in the studio. And the one thing you threw back at me, you were like, oh, let's talk about creativity. All the way up from Whangarei. So I've just driven up from Whangarei. I was listening to your last 3 albums. Bro, I had them on repeat. The one thing that strikes me about all 3 of them, they're all very creative in their different respects. Not just genres, obviously different genres. Talk me through that, bro, how your creative process is.
Yeah, I think it got to go back to the beginning of the process of doing my first album. Like when I was back at high school, I always knew I wanted to do a full-length album. That was one of my big goals. Some things kind of happened before that. I had kids. I think I had I had all of them by then. But, no, I had 4 of them. So I got 5 kids. So music was kind of on the back burner, but I always knew I wanted to make an album. And so by the time I come to make that first proper full-length album, Guitar Party at Uncle's Batch, which I had that name for about 8 years before that. I don't know the reason why that name was. Do you remember those Rip It Up? Do they still have Rip It Up magazines?
Yeah, bro, yeah.
There was, I can't remember exactly what the title was, but there was a picture of this dude, like a nerdy-ass guy with stubby shorts. It was a crusty-ass picture, but it was just like, I'm going to ride this bike all the way to Aotearoa. That was the name of they said, never name your album this. And I was like, that's me. And So since then I've had these long-winded names: Guitar Party at Uncle's Batch, Shake That Skinny Ass all the way to Zagatron, and now we've got Holy Colony, Burning Acres. Yeah, so that album was a long time in the making because I was having kids, and then so that's why it was a double album. That first one had 22, 23 songs. Only because it was kind of like, well, I've got all these songs, I might as well lay them down and put them out. And then it was before that album came out, I go, okay, I'm going to do 10 albums in 10 years. Why? I don't know. I actually don't know why. But I think something to do with being a real big Quentin Tarantino fan, how he only wants to bring out 10 films. Not in 10 years, but he only wants to bring out 10 films, and he wants them to be 10 quality films. What's that? I don't know what the one is with the stunt drivers. I don't think that's very good, but 10 quality films. So when he finally does pass away, and people hear about this director, Quentin Tarantino, and they go looking for his stuff, doesn't matter what they jump on. You know how you're looking for new artists and you just type them up and you take the first song or whatever. He wants to be able to have 10 films and he's just proud of all of them. Doesn't matter which one anyone jumps on, but they get onto it and they go, okay, I want to jump onto this one, I want to jump onto this one.
So what, you're going to retire after 10?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, well, that's the plan.
Have you told anyone else it?
I've told one person a couple of days ago, or one interview, so yeah. Basically, it's 10 years, 10 albums, 10 different genres, do the 10 years, and then that's it. That, as far as Troy Kingi, so I could still write stuff with other people and do other things, but under my name, I just want to have a 10 album legacy. Who
are you, like, I'm always interested, bro, when musicians use their real name. They don't take on a pseudonym, bro.
I wish I did.
Hey,
yeah,
why?
I wish I did.
Who are you named? Are you named after anyone?
No, I don't know why my parents call me Troy. Troy, come on, man. There's so many names out there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Why
do you wish you took on a pseudonym?
Because I could have just been anything. I could have been, I don't know, super dinosaur. I don't know. Could be anything. You once you make your name, you create whatever the hell you want. But if you go with Troy Kingi, you're just going with Troy Kingi. It's not very creative. Bro,
speaking of names, pseudonyms, nicknames, Little Birdie once told me you had a nickname at high school, Snoop Dogg.
Who told you that?
Is that, well, true or false?
It's true.
So let's back it up. One, give us the high school that was at, and two, how did you end up with the name Snoop Dogg at high school?
So it was my first year at Te College, and the seniors, they didn't want to learn your names, and I was the skinny ass, scrawny ass dude, black ass, and they just, all of them called me Snoop, and I was like, and then I'd look back on photos, and I looked like a real young Snoop Dogg.
Did you have the braids?
Nah, well, so you have a Nods concert, basically every third former, I think it's at the 5-week point. You have a Nods concert there where you either do a song or you do a skit or something, and they have a panel of all the year 13s, and you either get a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yep.
And I think we done like a radio station thing, and I played Snoop Dogg in the thing, so they're like, yeah. But I couldn't dance for shit. I remember that, and they said yeah, and then as soon as I started dancing, they're like, oh no, he's not Snoop Dogg.
Bro, so let's talk about your music. So obviously we've got 4 albums now.
Three.
Yeah. And then the fourth?
This will be the third coming out. And then, so I kind of missed out on a year last year. I didn't bring anything out just by accident. So I'm planning on bringing out 2 next year to make up for that. But anyway, carry on.
Where did your music journey come from, bro? Like, are your parents musical, grandparents musical? Did you grow up? Were you born with a guitar? Those kind of those?
Yeah. My Kingi side, my dad's family, are all very musical, all singers, and most of them play guitar. My dad and his brothers were in a band called Greenstone back in the 80s.
True.
I think they tried to mimic bands like Little River Band or Eagles, Doobie Brothers, that sort of vibe. So they had that brotherly chemistry where all their voices blended perfectly. So yeah, definitely comes from my dad's side, I'd say.
True. What's do you kind of, like, if we're talking musical influences, is Greenstone one of your musical influences?
Probably subconsciously. Like I honestly haven't heard any of those songs in a good over 20 years.
True.
And I've been asking my aunties for a cassette, because I know they only had cassettes when they made those. No one has it. I think my older brother's got the last like burnt copy, and he doesn't want to share it with anybody. So,
how good would that be though? Album number 10 to bring back some of the Greenstone songs.
Ooh, I'd love that.
Did I just give you an idea?
Yeah, you did.
Hey, bro, talk to us. Okay, so like I was saying before, Māori and creativity. Let's keep going along. Let's keep following that line of conversation, bro. It's an interesting space to be with creativity, and not just in a musical sense too, bro, but like I get the feeling that you're leading the charge, well, you're one of our artists who are leading a charge of, in a critical time for Māori art.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm paving anything, like, to be honest, like, you're sitting in here, how you can feel how secluded it feels. I think the fact that I am up here kind of all alone creatively up in Kirikiri, I don't really have anyone to bounce ideas off. I don't have anyone to come in and jam with. So I was thinking about this today, like, I don't know if I'm really that creative. It's just the fact that I am sitting here in my own thoughts, that it's easy to run with thoughts, even how stupid they are, no matter how stupid they are. Like, the fact that I don't have someone in here saying, bro, that's a stupid idea, don't do that. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's just a lot easier to run with your ideas, whatever they may be.
I reckon it's an important part for all creatives to be like that, though, eh, bro? You may not, you do understand how important that is to be secluded in your wānanga. Stay in your lane and do your thing, eh, bro? Yeah,
I've been thinking about that, like, a lot in the last couple of months, that I don't think I'd be able to do the body of work that I do if I had a lot of people to bounce off, because I don't think I'd get a lot of work done. Like, it's cool to go and, be with my mates down in Wally's in Auckland and have mean jams and stuff. But when you need to get the mahi done, I kind of find, just locking the door and just being in a space by myself. That's when you can hone stuff, and
But I mean, what is it, bro? What is it about working in collaboration with other artists? Because I mean, it's not to say that you're just sitting here.
Well, yeah. So in saying that, it's better to be alone. It's the best thing about going out and jamming with people is getting inspired.
Yeah.
Getting fresh ideas. Me being locked up in here, I've got a certain mindset, and then I'll go jam with Maratike, for instance, down in Wally's, and then it'll just trigger something else and maybe send me on another tangent. So you can't just do it alone. You need to have those moments of inspiration where you go down and one night you end up in a room with, a couple of weeks ago I had Louis Baker, Rob Ruha, Ed Waka, staying at the Māori Quartet's house. And you just have to have moments like that, having like-minded people to bounce off and trigger ideas, so you can go, okay, put those in the kit, I'm going to go home and do something else.
Far out. That would have been one heck of a jam session. Hey.
Bro,
like, and running off that, bro, like, you talk about names like Maratike, other, I noticed the first time actually, let me tell this story, but the first time I met you, I don't know if you remember, was 2013. I was a production assistant, bro, on a TVNZ show called Totes Māori, and myself and my best friend Hikurangi Jackson, bro, we were like the ones who made the cups of tea on the show, bro. And you came on and you sang I Know Fate, bro, and like, so we were in the background, like all the directors and all the presenters were up the front, and me and the bro were just standing in the back, like, next to the broom and the mop and that, bro, and we were just like, holy shit, the bro's on. And like following your journey over the last 5 years and seeing how you've pushed your own style of music and then collaborating with the likes of, our tuahine, Macy Rika, Rhea Hall, Stan Walker, and then venturing off in another direction, a not so more mainstream direction with Marainam. How's that been, bro? It's kind of made you into a more complete artist. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What, when you were standing there listening to me, what was it that made you go, wow, the brother's on?
It's like, so...
Like, compared to anyone else that you
Yeah, well,
listened to?
like on that show, bro, we had the other one who blew me away, bro, was Chad Chambers.
Oh, man.
And Chad had just won Homai Te Paki Paki,
Yeah.
bro, and like... there was something about... So the set was much like this, bro. It was just a couch,
yeah.
And we kind of went for that homegrown look. But just... I don't know, bro. It was just something, when you it's a magnetic attraction. no, but like, bro, we were honestly like in awe. We were like, have you heard this dude before? And the bro was like, nah, have you? Nah, we have now. But it's good to, like I was saying, bro, following your journey over the last, what was that, 6 years ago? Seeing how you've gone from, True Love.
Yeah.
And then This Is Home, and then Shake Your Skinny Ass all the way to Zygatron. Like, bro, you're throwing my musical palette like left, right, and centre, bro.
Yeah, I think one cool thing about breaking it down into 10 different genres is it keeps it fresh for me.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, so this album just happened to be the roots reggae album, and I don't know. For me, I haven't really been excited by reggae music in New Zealand for a long time.
True.
No, it's not my style of music, really, that I listen to. It's not until I got to this point, like, okay, we're doing the reggae album, okay.
Yeah.
So, same with this album here, Shake That Skinny Ass All the Way to Zygatron. Basically, I have a year dedicated to that album. So, the actual songwriting process for this, I wrote the songs in two weeks, that whole album.
True.
But it was everything leading up to that. So I've said in a couple of interviews, it's kind of like the 2 weeks is leading up to the 2 weeks is you gathering all your information, recording little memos, little melodies, and writing down little lyrics. Leading up to that point, I scrapped out my whole Spotify and only put in the music that was going to give me this sound. So I only listened to that music for a whole, probably 8-9 months.
Wow.
And then we got into the songwriting, the 2 week period. I didn't want to do it in 2 weeks, but when I rang my mate up, because when was it? It was in July 2017. And I was like, man, if I want to get this album out by the end of this year, I need to get in the studio now. So I rang my mate up who offered up a studio for me, and he's like, oh, yeah, bro, still keen to have you, and we're free in 2 weeks. So I was like, cool, bro, cool, sweet, I'll see you then. So, and I had one song written, I think, so not even written, but kind of half written, so I had 2 weeks. So basically, in this wasn't even finished. There was not even any wars in here. It was just this cold as freezing shed. I was in here writing these songs.
How many did the label want? So you had one, and the label wanted.
The label didn't want anything. They just left me to my own devices. So I knew I wanted around 12, and I think I wrote 13. No, yeah, I wrote 12, but we put 11 on the album, and we put that 12th song on the vinyl as a bonus track. So that 2 week period, I liken it to like doing a school project. So you do your research and then cram it in to get it done for your final mark.
What's your time management like? Because mine's rubbish, bro. Like that's exactly what that sounds like.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could. I find that putting pressure on yourself, it's just like, making diamonds. Same thing.
Yeah, bro, hard.
Same thing. Like I'm not good at just chipping away at a song. Like you got a whole year to write a song. I can't do like a verse now and then just add it. It's kind of like you got to grab it and just run with it when it's there. Because if you start writing, say you start writing a verse, and then 6 months down the track you come back to it, you're not in the same mind state. You're not in the same feeling that you were in when you were writing that. So I kind of like that 2-week thing. You just get in, find the zone, run with it, move on to the next one, find the zone, do it, and then 2 weeks is up, you've got 12 songs.
Bro, okay, let's play a quick game.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a song title at you, one of your song titles, and you're going to tell me how long it took you to write it, okay? Okay. This Is Home.
I think about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
I remember writing that because I wanted it to be like sitting on the dock sort of vibe. Yep. And it was real chill before we added the drums and stuff, but it was about an hour and a half, the original version of it.
Okay, True Love.
About the same, I'd say.
True.
Most of them were relatively quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last one, Grandma's Rocket Poem off the latest album.
I think I spent a couple of days, probably 2 nights on that one, because I was sitting on a horse, like one of those horse things, for our not scaffolding, but we put wood across it, in that other little room over there, and just had those 2 chords going over, and then I was just singing the melody, and I was like, oh cool, I'm just going to take my time on that. So taking my time was 2 nights.
Not an hour and a half, 2 nights. No. Let's carry on that discussion. I want to kind of take it in another direction, bro. So obviously you've got this whole body of work with regards to your music career, but actually no, a lot of people are aware that you're quite the Kapa haka performer too, bro. Talk us through your Kapa haka journey and how that's played its part in your creative expression.
Yeah. So my dad, my stepdad, he was the one who joined Apanui back in 98. I think that was my first year at TA. Yeah. And then, them getting into the top 6 kind of blew me away. I was like, what the hell? Because I was a big RnB fan, only because my godparents were in RnB. Yeah. And I always thought Apanui were too simple. I was like, they're not flashy enough, not flashy. And then they got to the top 6, and then I just become the biggest Apanui fan. And then 99 was my first stand with them at regionals in Ngāti and Whakatane. Yeah. And then my first nationals, 2000, Ngāruawahia made the finals, 2001 regionals, Tauranga, 2002 was my last stand with Apanui at Takaparafa, Bastion Point.
Do you know one of the best songs that Te Whānau Apanui's ever done? 2002 Poi. That is a jam.
Yeah.
Maisie redone it.
Yeah, we sing that a lot.
Yeah, bro, that is a jam.
Kahura, yeah. No, I love that. I love that waita too.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I don't know why I left Apanui in 2002. I was like, no, I'm not coming back. And then there was that thing with the Aotearoa group's not going in after that, so they had a bit of a hiatus and didn't come back till 2005, the next nationals in Palmi, and then Apanui won it, and I was like, nah. And then 2006, they ended up forming Tūropu. That's when they split and formed Tauira. And I think they only had 4 weeks to put a bracket together, and they scraped through to the Nationals 2007. And it was 2007, my mum was talking to Auntie Vicky Demant about Tauira and saying, hey, if you need a tune for any items, the Troy will come and do a tune. And I'd never done a tune for Kapa haka before. I'd done a couple for the local primary school, but nothing to that magnitude. And so they sent me the kupu for Kumara Iarangi, the Poi in 2007.
Did you do that?
So I done the tune. That was the first tune I've ever done for Kapa haka. And we ended up, I went down to teach it. Just went down to teach it down in Te Kai and ended up joining Tauira me and my wife, and then we ended up winning that item.
Yeah.
And also done the tune for the Whakawatea, which was a tune that I'd written for my father-in-law's 60th. And that item ended up winning as well. So they're like, oh yeah, we're going to keep you on, we're going to keep you on.
You're right.
And so I'd done a few other tunes, and they never got in the top 3 ever again.
Yeah.
So I'd done a few tunes all the way up until 2013, I think, was my last one. So I done 2007, 2008 was Opotiki, 2009 was Tauranga, 2010 was Kōrero Regionals, 2011 I didn't do Ngāti, which was a mean nationals. 2012 was Omaio Regionals, 2013 was my last one in Rotorua.
Yep.
And then I had another big break. They didn't make it.
Well, that's when the music started kicking off. 2013 was when
yes. So that was when Mount Zion first came out. So I got a bit busy to do Kapa. Tauira didn't make it through 2014, so they didn't go to Christchurch 2015. 2016 I went and saw them in where was it? Ruatoki? Or where was it? Was it in Taumata? I think it was Ruatoki or Taumata. And that's the best bracket I've ever seen them do. That regionals, and I was like, "Oh man, that's mean. I wish I could come back, but I'm too busy." Anyway, 2017 comes along. I get a call from Sai 2 weeks before Matatini. And I'm like, hey bro, man, I can't wait to see you fellas. We just sorted out ACOM. Looking forward to seeing you. And he's like, bro, can you perform? And I was like, hey, what? Only because one of the guitarists, his mum got sick and he had to go back to Australia. And I was like, oh man, are you serious? So I had a 2 week build up. He said, look at this haka, because he's got some tricky phrasing. So focus on the haka. I went to my first wānanga. The Saturday seized up 11 times, and I remember at the end of the day lying on the ground in my sweat just going, I wish I wasn't here. Like I genuinely wish I wasn't there. And then one of the uncles came and brought me some magnesium pills, and I was all good for the next weekend.
Wasn't the gout, was it?
No, it was just out of practice.
Yeah, right.
And then we had our last one the following week, and then we're at Matatini the week after that, and got in the finals.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
that was cool. That was a cool bracket too. 2017.
It's I'm really inspired, bro, with what Tauira Mai Tawhiti's doing, and they've been pumping out some jams lately. I've no and I'll say this to you, bro. While everything's live, bro. We're talking creativity. One of the most creative men I have ever met in my whole life is Si McLeod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bro, like let's talk about how that collaborating with the bro would probably be would drown in mainstream music kind of thing, bro. But on that stage, bro, he is one of what's that like, collaborating with those sorts of creative minds in a Māori framework?
Yeah, man, he is one of my favorite performers, and he I know that he gets his inspiration for standing from fellas like Irirangi Tiakiawa or Rikirangi Gage. You look at some of his old performances, so you see Si on stage, he's doing some pretty out of it old school moves, but that's, man, I love that. I love that. And he's got the loudest voice in Matatini, man.
Bro,
you can hear him above the whole rōpū. Nah, he's amazing, that fella. Yeah.
It must pull you in a different direction though, having to collaborate with someone like Marati K, and then in a studio much like this, and then going to a marae and collaborating with the likes of Si McLeod, with the likes of Erana Kopu. That must pull your creative instinct, you know?
Yeah. Well, when I go to the marae, or when I go to Wānanga of Tauira, I become one of the soldiers.
Sure.
I'm not one of the creative crew. Yep. Well, I did help with the he wanted something at the start of that the Waiataringa for 2017, so we done that little Aotearoa So we done that little thing. And we just had a jam when everyone left the marae. Like, fuck, can we do something? I was like, oh yeah. It was like 3 minutes we made that. It's like, cool, that's us, that sounds mean. And that was it. That was it. No, it's cool. When I'm with those dudes, it's like just chilling with your whānau. It's not pressure. Whereas when I'm with all these dudes, Mara TK, all these guys, you're always trying to bring your A game every time. It's always like, oh man, I gotta put my workers mind on and come with the A game.
Is that a bit of a wet flannel to creativity, bro? That pressure to actually to bring it?
Nah, I like it,
Yeah.
I like it. I kind of love I love buzzing those dudes out. I like bringing something in that they're not expecting. That's what I always try and do when I'm like, in the last 2 years I've done close to 20 collaborations, I think. I'm always trying to. That's my goal whenever I'm doing a collaboration. Try and buzz people out or make them go, "Hey, shh," and that's a main thrill for me. That's a big buzz for me, doing that sort of thing.
Bro? What are your thoughts on like where we are as Māori in a creative space, bro? Like, I mean, if there's Derek Lardeli had a famous Kōrero, bro, that the only thing that's constant is change.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're promoting change and looking to move forward to a space where we can promote, this moving towards a new frontier, we need to be creative, eh? What's your take on that, bro? Where are we with regards to our creativeness? Not necessarily within a music context, but moving forward as Māori.
I think we're in a pretty good place. Like, I've been in the film industry as well, but just seeing a lot of directors and people making stories that you wouldn't have really heard or no one would have been making, like, say 15, 20 years ago. So people like Taika have opened the door and made it a bit more accessible, not easier, but just a bit more normal, So I think we're in a good place.
Bro, that's a good segue into the next line of questions I wanted to run into. You've actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but you've actually worked under some of the, who I consider 3 of the biggest Māori directors going right now. 1, Taika Waititi. 2, Te Ao Pakahi. 3, Ainsley Gardner. Bro, those are massive names, bro. Like, talk us through, what was that like? Hunt for the Wilder People, Mount Zion, and Par Boys, bro. Talk us through a bit of a movie star.
I'll start with Mount Zion because that was the first thing I done. Tauripa's is a rally of one of my good mates up here.
Sure, bro.
So it would have been back in 2011. I was jamming a lot, and my mate was doing music videos. I'm not gonna name what the band was because I don't want people looking for those videos. Anyway, I think Tauripa was bouncing ideas off my mate as well, and then he mentioned my name, saying, "Hey, he could be cool in this film." And I think Tauripa was like, "Is he an actor?" And he's like, "No, I don't think he's an actor, but he might be all right." And I think Tauripa was trying to find the balance between an actor who could play the instrument or a musician that could act.
Yeah.
And I think he told me that the Papahone was like the last character to cast. I remember going to the audition and being tragic, because I had done a little bit of theatre back at like high school, but there's a big stark contrast from theatre to film. With theatre you want to be big so that the person at the back of the theatre can see you. But on film, the camera's right there, They're there to capture the realness. But I was doing, being way out there, and he's like, no, bring it down. And, oh man, I was just in a bad spot. Anyway, I went away and got a buzz from him a couple of days later saying, I think he said it wasn't that great. But he said the gaps in between when I was being myself, that's it. Like, was in the gaps. I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? And he said, if you can just do that, be yourself, just be natural. That's the character. So he gave me that. And yeah, he's an awesome mind, that dude. And he's real measured with his words. If you've ever had a chat with him, you'll talk to him and he's always thinking about what he's saying. And everything he says is always prolific. Like he's a real deep thinker, that guy. Yeah, that was a mean buzz being on Mount Zion, you know, working with Stan, working with Timuera, and then from there, me and Stan have a pretty mean relationship. We went on to do a few things, and then also David Wikarapo, who played Reggie, he's one of my best mates. We haven't really chatted a lot lately, but when we do catch up, it's like we've seen, you know, one of those ones. And with Taika, well, obviously that painting up there, I'm a big fan. I had that painting before. I met him for Hunt for the Water People.
Has he seen it?
I sent him a photo of it, and I think he was just like, but yeah, he came to one of my gigs in Portland, what is it, Portland House?
Yeah, Public or something.
The Public, the one in Kingsland. And yeah, we finished the gig, and he was like, "Wow, that was me, bro. It's like a hoary Jimi Hendrix or something like that." and he just asked if we wanted to go back, have a few drinks, go back to their office, and when I was like, "Yeah, cool," took my crew there. There wasn't really anyone else there. There was like, how many of us? Like 7 of us. And I was just like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then anyway, he was just started talking about how there's a small part in this new movie I'm doing. It's only small, but I'd be keen for you to play it. And I was like, hell yeah, of course. Anyway, they ended up being Hunt for the Water People. But another thing he also said was I keen for him to do one of my music videos? So Taika, I'm holding you to that. Yeah.
Taika Waititi doing a music video.
Well, that's what he said.
I actually haven't heard that anywhere in any media around ever.
Haven't you?
That's a scoop. That's what we like to call a scoop in the industry.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Taika Waititi.
hopefully you can get that to him so he can remember saying that.
True. I'd actually be keen to see that. Because, I mean, and you would have seen like this creativity, bro, like working with the likes of Taika, Ainsley, Te Arepa, bro. Like they've all got a different... There's something different about creatives, bro?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and with Taika, he's different to Te Arepa in that it feels like he's just playing all the time. Like he's really relaxed, and then when it comes to the shot, he's like, okay, and then he's focused in on the shot. But then the rest of the time, he's like, yeah, okay, into the camera. Right. And then with that main scene that I done in Hunt for the Water People, we finished. We filmed it, and he's like, cool, we've got about 10 minutes before we need to do the next scene. Should we do some improv? So we done the improv, and that's pretty much what ended up. That's what ended up like that. Warriors line, Warriors are bloody useless. Yeah. That wasn't in the script.
That's the one in the kitchen, eh?
Yeah. So, and I never even told anyone I was on that film because it was only like 2-3 minutes, you know. So, and then I didn't know how important he was. Like, it could have easily just been scrapped. Like a lot of my mates' characters in movies just get scrapped. So I just like, I'm not going to tell anyone because I might not end up in the movie. But yeah, I've had a lot of people come up to me saying, "Hey, want a sausage, bro?"
Bro, how's what's your relationships through this whole creative process, bro? Like, I mean, if we can hone in on how it's been connecting, because I mean, through your creativity, bro, you've connected with some of the biggest names in Te Ao Māori, bro. I'm not too sure if you realise this. You probably do, but you kind of have to take it as like, it's just the bro. It's just the bro, Taika Waititi.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, you know, actually connecting with people, that we've got young creatives out there who they're on the cusp of something big and about to make these connections that, bro, these are life set by the sun. So I think it's lifelong friends, bro.
Yeah, I've always been one to just take opportunities whenever they were there, no matter how small they are. Lately, I've started to become a no guy, but up until like recently, I'm always like yes, always doing everything, and no matter how trivial it might be, there might be someone that thing that's going to lead you to the next thing, and it is. Well, film and music, it is a networking thing. It's just meeting people who lead you on to other people, and it goes on and on and on and on. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say to up and coming people, is just to be open to opportunities. Like no matter how shitty they might seem, they might lead you onto a job or something that gets you in front of Taika Waititi and wants you in a small part of the film.
What's the most rubbish job you've ever worked in your whole life? We've all had them.
Yeah. I don't know if it was rubbish, but McDonald's.
Did you work at McDonald's?
Yeah, when I was at high school.
Whereabouts?
Yeah, Kitty.
True.
Yeah, I was there for like nearly 2 years. It wasn't rubbish. Because I ate a lot of. I made me a pounder. We got to make our own food.
Not a quarter pounder.
No. So 4 patties, cheese in each layer, mayonnaise. Maybe I think I put some nuggets on top.
Ooh.
But you only ever have one of those in your life, and you don't need another one. But it was good. I think it was good.
So you're the man to go to the drive-thru with. You know what's the good stuff?
Oh, or the steamed buns, mayonnaise, McChicken steamed bun, tomato and cheese. That's the one.
True.
Yeah.
Game changer.
It is. I'm telling you, even if you don't like tomatoes, it's the one.
Bro, speaking of which, I want to bring it back closer to home, bro. Let's talk about 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
What's your role as a father, bro, putting creativity on them? Are you forcing this music, this creative aspect that you've got going on them, bro? Or, like, obviously, as fathers, bro, we kind of just like to let our babies do what they do, bro? But I can't help but feel that, you know, they'll be seeing this and watching this all unfold, bro, right on their back doorstep.
Yeah, I think I try to push it on my oldest, who's he kind of went to it early on, but now he's just all about b-ball. Yeah. He turned 16 this year, man. I can't believe I've got a 16-year-old.
Far right.
I still feel like I'm like 23 or something. But then I've got my oldest girl who's really interested in what I do in here, and I just had rehearsals with my percussionist tonight. She come to the sound lounge in town. She was singing and jamming with me, so she's keen. And my youngest girl, she's got a real beautiful voice, real beautiful singing voice. She's only 5.
Yeah.
So I don't force it on them, but if they're interested, I know that my young girl wants to write songs with me, so it's just a matter of making the time so we can do it. But yeah, she's keen. But no, I don't force anything. Future
Caleb's on the 10th album, surely.
They want to be on the album, so if you've seen my latest music video, the dancer is my oldest girl.
Yeah.
So she's the one dancing in there, but I promised them on the 10th album that they can all come and do BVs on my last album, if they can sing good.
Yeah. Hold a note.
Yeah. Then my youngest one, she's like, yep, I'm keen as, and she'll hold me to it too.
Mean. Bro, I want to start wrapping us up, bro. We've had a pretty mean chat. What are we at? We are at, 46 minutes. That has gone like the wind, my bro.
No, we haven't even touched the surface, man.
We haven't. Yeah, should we keep going?
Well, whatever, yeah.
Bro, well, okay, then let's... Okay, here we go. Taumata Kōrero. You heard it here first. Bro, let's keep having that wānanga then, bro. Like, tell us about how, like, about your family space, bro. Can you let us in on that?
Yeah. So at the moment we're staying with my mother and father-in-law. We just bought some land up past the Kirikiri airport. So we were renting and in quite a nice house in Kirikiri for a few years, and then the owner wanted to sell it. So it was my father-in-law who said, you can either go and rent again or buy some land, come live with us and pay it off and then build there. So it's like, Okay, so we'll do that. So so we're staying with my mother and father-in-law, which is a big help whenever I have to take off.
Yeah, bro.
My wife, she works full time. She's a high school teacher.
Yeah.
So she's normally away, Monday to Friday working. She's the one who holds us down, pays our bills, while I fart around doing whatever I do. So during the week, I'm normally the one staying home with our youngest one, Mana Pōtiki. He just turned 2, but he'll be taking off to like kindy soon.
It's an interesting dynamic, bro. Like, with regards, like, I'm just trying to look at it from the outside.
Yeah.
Having 5 kids, being a musician, bro, like on the road, things must and especially as a young father too. How old were you when 16 years ago, bro? If you don't mind me asking. Baby, you're
19. I'm 35 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, 19.
So that would have been big, bro. Like a 19 coming up musician, just had a baby. Took to us.
Yeah, it was scary. It was
Yeah.
definitely scary because straight out of high school, I'm gonna be a rock star.
Yeah.
And I was at Maine's Music Audio Institute in Auckland, and then she wasn't my wife then, but we've been together since I was 16, 15, since I moved out here. So so that kind of turned things on their head. The main one being that I was trying to get gigs as a 19-year-old. Wasn't really bringing in the cash, and I had bills to pay, so I was just like, okay, I'm going to move back up home. Moved back up closer to our parents, and started working in the orchards just to, pass the time, bring up your little family. And I know that Huia, I think she knew that I wasn't happy, so she's like, well, if you're not going to make money doing your music, what else do you love? And I said, well, I love diving. So she said, well, go get a career in diving. So I think it was the following week I went into, it was Dive HQ in Waipapa at the time.
Yeah.
I asked, how do I get a career in diving? And he said, do this course and then you'll be a dive instructor. And I was like, okay, cool. So I done this course, and then the following year I was working at the same shop, and I was there for 5 to 6 years. So taking trips up to Rainbow Warrior, and the new frigate, well, it was new back in 2008, Canterbury Naval Frigate out in Deepwater Cove. So we were taking trips out there, as well as teaching people how to dive, and then I become the tertiary instructor, so teaching people from pretty much the beginning to instructor level. And a lot of my music around that time was all based around tangaroa, around diving, night diving. I got a lot of songs about night diving. And then, I don't know, it was just kind of near the end there where it just felt like at the start it was mean. It was like, didn't feel like a job because I was doing, find something you love, it's not a job. But it was feeling like a job, all right, by the end of it. So I kind of handed in my resignation to study to be a teacher, so that me and my wife could have the same holidays as our kids. And then I think it was a week after that was when I got a call from Aotearoa, and I never really went on to do the teaching thing.
Bro, if I could just take you back, bro, what is it about diving, bro? What is it about diving, especially night diving, that you vibe with the most? Surely it must spark something like deep in you if your two passions were music and diving.
I don't know. I think it's the peace that I find underneath, because you can't hear anything. You're not supposed to, but I do a lot of scuba diving by myself. I think there was one, I can't remember what it was, something real stressful. I had a real stressful week doing Mahi in Auckland, and I shot home and I was like, man, I just need to go for a dive. So I went up to Matodi, jumped in the water, and everything just immediately just disappeared. It's the peace, and it just feels like it's just you. Like It's just you, not even your thoughts, it's just you, and you're just one with nature. I don't know.
Do you know how special that is for me to hear that, bro, as one of our premier New Zealand musicians finding peace and quiet? Like, that is two polar opposites, bro. Someone who's paid to make noise.
Yeah, that's true.
Orchestrated noise finds peace and quiet. That's special, bro. You're actually in a bit of a league of your own after hearing that. How many other New Zealand musicians? Well, musicians are deaf. Is it quite common?
I think it's easy to become deaf being a musician. I don't know of any, but there's probably a few closet deaf ones that don't want anyone to know about it.
Well, are you open with the likes of Stan Walker, Rhea Hall, Macy? Do they all know you're like?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone knows. Like, it's fine. But if you're like talking to me on this side, I'm like, what? And it's real bad if you're in a situation like at a gig where everyone's talking really loud. I can't hear shit. I'm just like, I think I'm learning how to lip read, but I can't read shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's bound to be a few, and that's the reason why I wanted to get those in-ears, because if I was to lose my right ear, then yeah, it'll definitely be. What's
the greatest thing that's taught you, bro, that you've learnt over the last 2 years with regards to that? Like, I don't want to go on too much about it.
I think that's probably why I've told you that I'm going to do 2 albums next year.
Yeah.
I haven't even written one song for those albums, but it's probably the reason why I'm not scared is the fact that I did this album with one ear. It's like, fuck, okay, if I can do that, then sweet. I have had moments where I'll wake up on my good ear and feel very claustrophobic, and I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, I'm deaf in my left ear. So I have moments like that, but other than that, I forget about it. About it. And they were saying, went to the doctor, they're like, do you want to get like a hearing aid and stuff? And I was like, what's it going to do? And she said, it's just going to make that muffled sound louder. And I was like, well, I still won't be able to hear it. It'll just be a loud muffled sound. I'd rather look cool with no fucking thing in my ear. So yeah, I don't have a thing. Maybe I will one day.
That's yeah. I'm actually just still trying to come to terms with how you done an album like Shake Your Skinny Ass with the Weather's Overtime on one ear. But we'll carry on. We will carry on, bro. Actually, we'll start wrapping it up here, bro, because we could actually probably sit here all night and just gas back, bro.
Oh good.
Talk me through creativity, bro, and there will be a lot of creatives out there watching and listening intently to, sitting on the edge of their seats to a lot of what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to the next generation of musicians, Māori musicians who are deaf in their left ear? What do you have to say to them, bro?
Just try be different. That's all. Like, I'm bringing out this reggae album probably at a time where it's kind of like being done, you know. It's like when Taika talked about bringing out What We Do in the Shadows when there was like twilight, or those had already gone, so it was like kind of dead and gone. He said it's probably the perfect time to bring it up because no one really gives a shit about it.
Yeah, bro.
Same thing. I'm bringing out this album at a time where it feels like no one really cares about it. So what I'm trying to get at is you don't need to follow what everyone else is doing. You just do what feels right to you. And for me, what feels right is what no one else is trying to do. Whether that's cool or not doesn't matter, as long as I'm trying to do something that's, it's not even fresh. It's like stuff that people were doing 50, 40 years ago. Yeah. But it feels fresh to me now.
Well, I mean, but then you could argue, bro, why? Because you've got a few awards next to your name, bro. Like, what did we get at the Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards last year with 2 big gongs, RnB and Soul, and Best Māori Artist of the Year. Those are 2 big categories, bro. Like, if you're telling me that to do your own thing, stay in your lane, hustle hard, but that like don't worry about what's being cool. But people are making that cool. Like you're being seen as, you know, that must be.
Yeah, like I never do what I do for accolades.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's definitely cool to be acknowledged for what you're doing. But if I was to not win any more awards, that's fine. That's cool. Like, I know that next year I'm gonna bring out like a early 70s funk album and then a late 60s folk album at the same time. Completely polar opposites. And probably some people are going to think it's whack as shit, but as long as I feel like it's quality, then I'm going to be happy. I'm not even into folk music at all, but I want to do my best to make it buzzy. Yeah. And that's what I was saying about having different genres. It keeps it fresh for you.
Yeah.
When I do my rangaho, when I do my research, with this reggae album, I found stuff I'd never heard of before. And when I've been doing this funk album and listening to the meters, and been getting all these other things from all my other mates saying, oh, you got to do that, listen to these guys. So it pushes you into a whole lot of bands and music that you'd never find otherwise. And the same thing, I'm going to go into this folk album. I'm not really amped about it, but it's one of my 5 albums and 10 album thing. I bet you're going to find some shit that's going to be gangster as folk music.
Who knows? Well, let me ask you that, bro. If you were to never win a mainstream accolade ever again in your life, what would be the crown jewel going forward? What would be the pinnacle of your career to say, yeah, sweet, I cracked it?
Tough question. What would be the pinnacle? Man.
Like if I took away all the Vodafone New Zealand Music Awards, if I took away all the overseas trips, if I took away all the collaborations, what could you tell your kids and say, I done that and that's the thing I'm most proud of?
I think I need to finish these 10 albums,
regardless
of what they win or whatever. Once they're created, and they're not going anywhere. So I'm looking at it as a legacy to leave for my kids. So, and that's the same thing with the covers. I'm trying to make them as cool as possible.
Right.
So when I've got my 10 vinyls, nice and heavy, and I'm like, I made this shit. Okay, let's move on to the next chapter. That's gonna be it. Having those in my hand.
Yeah, 10 platinum hanging up there.
Well, not platinum. Can be just sell 100. Will be all good.
Mean, bro. Bro, I'm gonna throw it over to you, and it's actually up to you what our song of the week is, bro. What you want our song of the week to be this week? If we can have something off the latest album, bro. This.
Okay. Bird of Paradise.
Bird of Paradise off the latest album. Oh, you wanna intro it, brother?
So what do I do?
Troy Kingi. This is off.
It's Troy Kingi in the upper class. This is Bird of Paradise off of Holy Colony Burning Acres.
Kia mau tonu mai.
Tahukah kamu sakitnya hatiku, meskipun aku warga negaramu.
We shall not fear from the garden of Lord. Spiritual healing. No, when they're on skies. Paradise from the grip of Babylon. Been waiting a long time for your love. You may burn by far but you will never burn me to the ground. Been waiting a long time for your love. Self-determination is all anybody wants. Freedom of choice, yeah, freedom of thought. Media only wants you to see and eschew truth. Open your eyes and start looking for yourself. Big man bully him for too long. People love the dark who rise to right the wrong. Yeah, so I'm free, West Papua, from the good Papa belong. Been waiting a long time for your love. You may burn my forest down, but you'll never burn me to the ground. I've been waiting a long time. Push a chief to the floor. You're asking for gorilla walks. Try change these mighty tiger claws. These mighty. Ooh. Natives you must defeat. For the diamonds on their feet. You claim the mountain to the shore. Story travel across the sea. Come make a change from your computer screen. It has to be seen, yeah. So I'm free, West Papua, from the grip of Babylon. Been waiting a long time for your love. You may burn my forest down, but you will never burn me to the ground. Been waiting a long time.
Alright, e tātou mā koe rā ko tā tātou waiato o te wiki, the man himself, Mr. Troy Kingi, brother. Ka nui te mihi ki a koe i tūhono mai rā ki tō tātou taumata kōrero ki te āta whirawhira i ngā kōrero mō tēnei mea te auahatanga Māori and creativity, bro. I'll throw it back to you, bro. Any last words or any last final comments you want to leave us on, bro?
I thought we were going to talk about the NBA.
Oh, yeah, actually.
We haven't even talked about it, man.
Okay, we'll go there. NBA free agency currently in full effect. I'll throw some names at you. Mō koutou i te kāinga kāre i te mōhio, our man considers himself a bit of a gun on NBA 2K. But he's yet to meet his match.
I actually haven't played 2K in a long time, but
Yeah.
but I'm pretty good.
What's just quietly? What's your take on free agency, bro?
Yeah, it's been the craziest free agency ever, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at rehearsals for our release gig on Friday. We had rehearsals on Saturday and Sunday, and I didn't look at anything on the internet on Saturday. Got home about 10 that night, and then I saw Paul George has gone to Clippers, and he was the reason that Kawhi went to the Clippers. So they've got them two, Pat Beverly, what's that? Montreal, what's that guy?
Yeah.
Bro, they're a beastly defensive team.
Here's a fact for you, bro. The only player in history, NBA history, to leave his team after winning the Finals MVP is Michael Jordan. The second one to do it, Kawhi Leonard.
But I bet you Michael Jordan didn't do that in his first year in the Bulls.
Yeah, nah. I think it was like his first he retired, so he didn't go to another team. He went to a completely different sport. He's
a beast.
The other big talking point is the Lakers. LeBron is starting to throw his weight around. He's throwing his toys out of the kore. So he's got Anthony Davis from the Pelicans, he's got Rajon Rondo, and he's got Boogie signed from the Warriors, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm hoping Boogie can find his form from before he got his injury.
Yeah.
Maybe, because when he was with the Brow over the Pelicans, they were doing mean.
They were good, yeah.
And when he got injured, the Brow went on to be even more beastie. But I reckon if they can find that sort of form, they're going to be pretty deadly. If he can start shooting his threes again, because he was trash. He was trash in the Warriors. Yeah. If he can start shooting his threes again, I'm pretty glad that they picked up Quinn Cook from the Warriors. I think he's a solid pickup.
And the only one to survive all of those trades from the Lakers that I was really surprised, it wasn't Lonzo Ball, it was Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuz, yeah. I kind of rate him over Ball, but I think now that Ball's gone to the Pelicans, I think he's gonna be beastie too.
They're stacked, bro.
Right. They got a nice young team.
What do you make of Zion Williamson so far? Have you been watching the Summer League?
I just saw that one where he stole the ball off Knox, but apparently he got blocked like 3 times as well. I didn't see that, but yeah.
I don't want to body shame or anything, bro, but he's looking a bit big, or Zion?
Well, he's looked like that the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's going to come out and be... he could be like a Shaq type dominant player, you know. Hopefully he works on his 3 so he can be Shaq with a 3-point. That would be gangster.
That's dangerous, bro. And then probably the last big talking point from free agency so far to date, Brooklyn, KD, who's just announced today that he's going to take on the number 7 jersey in Brooklyn, and Kyrie Irving. That, bro... Sean Marks, the GM of Brooklyn Nets, bro.
New Zealand, man, represent.
That's like signing 2 of the 2 All-Stars on the first day of free agency.
Yeah, well, I like the Nets before that, you know. D'Angelo had a mean season last season, and they got a nice young core as well with what's that other dude with the afro, Jarrett Allen. But all those dudes like Spencer Dinwiddie, Levert, they got some solid, like they got a solid bench as well.
Will they go alright though? Like KD's still injured. He'll be. Is he out? He's out.
Yeah, he'll be out for the whole season, I'd say. But you're basically just swap Kyrie for D'Lo, and that team's got another whole year together. So. Yeah. They're going to be pretty solid.
What about that one? D'Angelo Russell going to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, sweet, KD's left.
Yeah.
It's over. And then they sign an all-star and D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, no one's really been talking about the Warriors because of the Lakers and the Clippers, but they're still top 4 in the West.
That's dangerous, bro. Yeah.
Easy. I'm more just trying to see where Russ is going to go now.
Yeah.
Now that he's demanded a trade. They're talking about him going to the Rockets, which could be cool, but...
So what happens to Chris Paul?
Well...
Does he go...
I don't know. I actually don't know how they're going to make that one work. But yeah, I just feel sorry for our man, Steven Adams. I don't know. They said that I just read an article before that he's untradeable, that no one wants him.
What?
But I reckon he would look nice on the Warriors, doing what Bogart done.
Yeah, bro.
And even the Lakers.
Yeah.
Man, he'll be gangster on the Lakers, but he has got a pretty hefty contract, so...
Yeah. Who's your team, bro?
Wow. It's OKC.
Yeah.
It's OKC. But I'm a big Bucks fan. I love Giannis. What about you? Who are you out of Lakers and Clippers if you had to pick one of them?
Bro, I am...
Clippers looks the cleanest.
Yeah.
Lakers is a bit mishmashy, bloody all over the place.
I like that rough renegade look, bro, and that's what they are. They're like
just anyone, come here.
A team of superstars.
All of you, let's just smash someone.
Yeah, bro. And that's LeBron James, eh?
Yeah.
But first and foremost, bro, I am a Carmelo Anthony fan.
Oh, really?
That is my man, and I heard he was going to the Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah. So if Melo goes to the Lakers and gets a chip with LeBron James, that's me. I'm a happy man.
That's an old team, isn't it? old. Nah, that'll be mean.
Yeah.
If they were all to get chips, because there's heaps of them.
He needs it. Melo needs it like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he deserves a bit more respect. They
Yeah.
got a bit of shit for going to the Thunder, and they put all that on him. And then they go on to kind of get back to the same place without him. So obviously, it wasn't just Mello.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
And then
just
the Rockets. 7 with the Rockets.
yeah, he just needs to concede that he ain't exactly what he was.
Yeah.
Even like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
If he was to be a second unit guy, he would be the meanest coming off the bench. He would
Bench.
be getting 20 plus points, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That guy, yeah. When was his last game? At the start of last season.
Exactly, bro.
Poor
They got
dude.
waved, yeah.
Poor dude. What? There's a few young teams, like the Bulls, I think are looking nice.
Yeah.
They got a nice young core. That dude that they picked up this year with the afro.
Yeah.
Who's that centre they got last year? And Laurie
Marketer.
Yeah, he's a mean 3-pointer. And then they still got Levine. I don't know if they're gonna. What's that guy from Minnesota that they got?
Oh, bro.
Dunn.
Yeah. Derek Rose to the Pistons.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Derek Rose and Blake Griffin, bro. That will be good.
We'll see.
Oh.
Nah. I wish Rose just found that form, that old school form, and just he deserves a championship. That guy.
He does.
But yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the Clippers. You know what? I wish that Russ could go to the Lakers. That would be gangster. And then they just come in roughing it up against the Clippers.
Even how long does DeMar DeRozan have? Was he on a 1 year at the Spurs? Because he's from Compton, bro.
Yeah, true. No, I think it might have been a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
He'd be a good fit on that Lakers side.
Yeah. Well, where else do you reckon Russ could go? He's a bit of a hard one to put anywhere.
Celtics.
Yeah, they just got Kemba.
Oh yes, they did. Yes, that's true. Yeah, interesting, brother. I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, so
because we can sit here all night and talk ball. E tātuma, thank you very much for joining in on the podcast. The man himself, Mr. Troy Kingi, brother Kanui Te Mihi. Thank you for opening up your doors, bro, and welcoming our kaupapa into this fine establishment that you call home, brother. Mō koutou I te kāinga kāri te mōhio, he kaupapa utu kore tēnei. This is a free initiative, but it does come at a cost. That cost is to share. Tell someone about the Taumata Kōrero and the man himself, Mr. Troy Kingi. Spread it wide and far. Long live the wānanga. Our kaupapa must go on. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTunes. Everywhere, Chief. We are everywhere.
Did you say YouTunes?
YouTunes.
What the hell's YouTunes?
That was fresh. Spotify and iTunes. It's actually not the first time I've done that either. I always muck that one up. Anyway, and YouTunes, iTunes. All of those good places where you can disseminate further carry on the dissemination of esoteric knowledge. Taua kōrero anora e tātou mā ka nui te mihi kia koutou katoa wakarongo mai ana, mātakitaki mai ana, ka hoki anora ki e rakupu rongo nui ra wātu ko te pō e ka tau tēnei te Taumata Kōrero ka huri. Kōrero